Throughout history, warfare has inspired some of the wildest ideas ever imagined. From weaponized wildlife to sci-fi tech decades ahead of its time, here are 20 of the strangest, craziest, and most unbelievable weapons ever created. Number 20. Picture this: war elephants charging across the battlefield, until they hear the squeal of burning pigs. Yes, flaming pigs. Romans discovered elephants hated the sound of pigs, so they soaked the animals in oil, lit them on fire, and sent them squealing into enemy lines. Disturbing? Absolutely. Effective? Tragically, yes. Number 19. During World War II, Japan sent hydrogen-filled balloons armed with incendiary bombs, floating across the Pacific to North America. Most fizzled out, but a few made landfall. Though they caused minimal damage, the United States government feared they could carry biological agents, and quickly covered it all up. Number 18. Psychologist B.F. Skinner had a feathery vision. Train pigeons to peck at images of enemy ships while strapped into guided missiles. The birds would steer the bomb by tapping at the screen. The real challenge? Getting anyone in the military to take it seriously. Spoiler alert, they didn't. Number 17. So, Winston Churchill once considered building an aircraft carrier out of ice. Inventor Geoffrey Pike came up with this wild idea, suggesting a material called pikecrete, which is basically a mix of ice and wood pulp, to make a ship that was, honestly, almost unsinkable. It actually worked in tests. But yeah, it turned out to be way too slow and expensive to ever actually set sail. Training dolphins to detect underwater mines might sound like something straight out of a spy movie, but both the US and Soviet navies really did it. These super smart marine mammals were used to help locate mines and even retrieve equipment. Now, some conspiracy theorists claim these dolphins were trained to kill. Officially though, that's denied. Number 15. Imagine this. A massive, rocket-propelled wheel packed with explosives, launched onto beaches at 60 miles per hour. That was the British Panjandrum. It looked absolutely wild. But honestly, steering was a total nightmare. Most of the time it just toppled over or spun out of control, and well, it never actually made it into real combat. Number 14. This World War II British invention launched a cluster of small anti-submarine mortars that, honestly, kinda looked like a hedgehog's spines. Unlike those old-school depth charges, hedgehog bombs only exploded on contact, turning them into a really precise and, yeah, terrifying weapon against U-boats. Number 13. Straight out of a comic book, the Nazi Windkanone was designed to shoot compressed air at aircraft. Fueled by hydrogen and ammonia, or sometimes oxygen, it aimed to knock planes out of the sky with, well, sonic blasts. But in reality, it barely tickled, and honestly, it left its operators completely exposed. Number 12. Who needs gunpowder when you've got magnetism, right? Railguns use electromagnetic rails to launch metal projectiles at speeds up to 11,000 kilometers per hour. That's Mach 9. Still pretty experimental, they hold massive potential, firing farther, faster, and cheaper than traditional weapons. Number 11. The United States Defense Department's PHASR rifle isn't actually designed to kill. Instead, it uses dazzling light to temporarily blind and disorient enemies. Legal loophole? Well, permanent blinding lasers are banned, but temporary ones? Not so much. So this futuristic light gun might just be here to stay. Number 10. This genius weapon lets soldiers shoot around corners without ever exposing themselves. It's basically a bendable gun mount with a built-in camera. SWAT teams and special forces already use it, and future versions will support even bigger rifles. Who said you can't bend the rules? Or your gun? Number 9. This mini remote-controlled tank from World War II Germany was wired to carry explosives and drive right into enemy tanks or bunkers. Think of it as like the grandfather of modern drones. But honestly, it was slow, poorly armored, and pretty easy to disable. Still, just imagine seeing one crawling toward you. Terrifying. Number 8. Russia's 19th century Novgorod was, well, a floating metal pancake. It was built to carry heavy artillery and defend coastlines, but, you know, it was slow, hard to turn, and Oh boy, it spun in circles during storms. A floating fortress that couldn't aim straight. Yikes. An American dentist came up with the wild idea of strapping incendiary bombs to bats, releasing them over Japan, and letting them roost in buildings before, boom. Yeah, one test accidentally burned down a US airbase. Despite some success, the project was dropped, just like the bats should have been. Number 6. Developed by the OSS, the precursor to the CIA Me was a fart bomb in perfume form, literally designed to humiliate enemy soldiers with the stench of human waste. Unfortunately, it backfired, literally. Sprayers often got a noseful themselves. Number 5. So, back in the 1990s, US military researchers actually proposed using pheromones to confuse enemy troops, basically trying to make them attracted to each other to, disrupt morale. This idea got the nickname Gay Bomb. It was never actually developed, but interestingly enough, it did win an IG Nobel Prize for absurdity. Number 4. The US active denial system uses directed energy to heat the molecules on your skin, causing really intense pain without any lasting damage. Honestly, it's kind of like a giant microwave for riot control. Is this the future of crowd control? Maybe. Just, don't stand in front of it. Number 3. Designed to disorient without killing, the Dazer laser emits a pulsing light that causes nausea, dizziness, and vomiting. It comes in various forms: a baton, a pistol, and even a rifle-sized version. It doesn't hurt you, it just makes you wish you were somewhere else. Number 2. Straight out of a horror movie, the man-catcher was used in medieval Europe to snatch enemies off horses. With sharp prongs on a long pole, it would trap and hold them in place, sometimes fatally. Brutal, yes, but a creative way to capture without killing. Number 1. Meet the Schwerer Gustav, a 1,350-ton German railway cannon that stood 4 stories tall and fired 7-ton shells. It took hundreds of men to operate and needed special tracks. Yes, it worked, but it was so massive and slow, it was more of a terror machine than a practical weapon. So what do you think? Which weapon was the most bizarre? Would any of these actually work in battle today, or are they better off left in the history books? Hit that like button, subscribe for more weird history, and don't forget to comment with the craziest weapon you've ever heard of.